Daniil Dubov's attacking style has always been a joy to watch. So when he got paired against the 18-year-old Indian super talent Nihal Sarin in the 7th round of the World Rapid Championship, I knew we'd be in for a treat. That being said, there's nothing that could have prepared me for how this game would turn out. The game begins with d4 by white, d5, and c4. So basically, Daniil Dubov goes for a queen's gambit, and Nihal accepts it with d takes c4. Knight f3 is played, knight f6, e3, and e6. White recaptures the pawn on c4 with bishop takes c4, and here white has two center pawns, the d and e pawn, while black only has one, so Nihal's next move makes a lot of sense. He plays the move c5. c5 chips away at the white center, and Daniil plays castles in response. a6 was played by black, so preparing the move b5, which would attack the bishop on c4, and also prepare bishop b7. Queen e2 was played by white, and b5. Now here, Daniil has the choice of putting the bishop on either b3 or d3. He ultimately chose the move bishop d3, which keeps the bishop on the b1 to h7 diagonal. This proved to be extremely useful later in the game with a kingside attack. C takes d4 was played by black, and here white has the choice of playing knight takes d4 or e takes d4. He actually chose none of these options and played the move a4 instead, which just gambits the d4 pawn. Now if Nihal had played d takes e3, then bishop takes e3 would have been the response, and here this position would be extremely dangerous for black. White's already developed with most of their minor pieces, and knight c3, rook d1 will come extremely quickly. If black's not prepared, white would crush him in this position. Not wanting to go into any of these lines against possibly one of the greatest attacking players in Daniil Dubov, Nihal played the move b takes a4 instead of d takes e3, so in this position b takes a4 was played. White plays rook takes a4 in response, and here black plays bishop e7. White finally decides to recapture on d4, but this time with rook takes d4, and here black plays queen b6. Knight bd2 by white, so this knight's headed to c4, where it will attack the black queen on b6. Knight c6 is played, attacking the white rook on d4, and Daniil chooses to put the rook on h4. Now, if I had told you that there would be a rook on the h-file that's staring down at the h7 pawn, you'd probably think that it would be the white rook that started on the h-file. However, Daniil Dubov actually maneuvered the rook from a1 to a4 to h4, sending it on a long journey where it will eventually participate in the kingside attack. Bishop b7 was played by black, knight c4 hits the queen, queen c7, bishop d2, and castles. Now, Nihal is extremely brave for castling into this incoming attack. However, there are no immediate threats, but white immediately creates one with the move bishop c3. Bishop c3 threatens to take the knight on f6, which will remove the defender of the h7 pawn, so if black plays some random move like a5, bishop takes f6 will be played, bishop takes f6, and bishop takes h7, and this would be a complete disaster for black, so he had to address it with the move g6 instead. So all the way in this position, he played g6. Knight g5 was played by white, so continuing the attack, and here black blundered with the move knight d5. Now, in all fairness, this position was already extremely tough to defend with black. If black had played a random move like a5, white has this massive threat of knight takes h7, and rook takes h7, sacrificing a full rook, but it doesn't matter because after king takes h7, black is getting checkmated with the move queen h5 check. You can't take the queen with the g6 pawn because it's pinned by the white bishop on d3, so after the only move, which is king g8, white would go queen h8 checkmate and win the game on the spot. Seeing this, Nihal attempted to find a solution. However, the move knight d5 was simply a losing move. After knight d5, Daniil Dubov played the incredible queen h5, which prompted Nihal to resign immediately. The point is that if g takes h5 is played, capturing the queen, then bishop takes h7 is checkmate. If knight f6 defending the h7 square, white can play the move bishop takes f6, and after bishop takes f6, queen takes h7 is still checkmate. The last thing black can try is to move the f8 rook along the 8th rank. However, this would lose because if you go, let's say rook b8, queen takes h7, king f8, and queen takes f7 or queen h8 will lead to checkmate. So basically there is no hope for black here, and that's why after the incredible queen h5, black had to resign and Daniil Dubov won a beautiful 18-move game. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be releasing more videos from the World Rapid and Blitz real soon, but for now, you guys take care and I will see you guys in the next video.